previous episode.
Let's assume. So if there's internet, then it will be posting data direct. Okay? So those tickets, you'll be just scanning then because it's duplicate. So it will not allow duplicate. So I've done those checks.
And then on the market axis, now the farmer is able to see the whole overview, the order which was placed, and all the products. And if you had to add the product that the buyer was buying, this is the procedure. Think of it.
And then you have to confirm the payment by entering that PIN that was generated. In my case, it was 45.99.
Muuni Fund is here. Muuni Fund is here. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto kuza dziko lathu. Muuni Fund is here. Muuni Fund is here. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto omwe amagwa mdziko lathu.
From Salima District Council, welcome and congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Esther Pale. I am a software developer as well as an innovator.
A woman in STEM.
Yes.
Please tell me how you ended up in this space. I'm very happy to see that this is where you're thriving.
Yeah, so as a woman in STEM, like I've already said, I got into this program because of a referral. So someone had to refer to me about the Muuni Fund and what their initiatives are. So as someone who's really passionate about development and making an impact, this was a really good space for me to actually implement something that will make impact in Malawi.
How long have you actually been software developing and all of that good fun, sitting at the table thinking stuff?
Okay, so
because I assume you think a lot, right?
Yes, quite a lot.
Yes.
Growing up, I wasn't interested in something like that, especially in computers. But then as I grew up, I found myself in spaces like that because I imagined what I can actually do with computers as well as ICT to make solutions, and well as take ideas to actually put them into solutions. So that was a moving factor for me, and also spaces that accommodate women, especially in STEM. So yeah.
So talking about Salima, what solutions are you bringing to the table today?
Well, as someone who's passionate about agriculture, I found it very interesting based on research as well as spaces, like I've already said. And I found it as a very good space for me to really practice and bring in my ideas, especially in the space of agriculture. So to Salima, I'm actually bringing in a game changer, especially in Salima Coast. So the aim is to actually develop a mobile application for extensive farming as well as chain supplies to farmers.
Hey, yeah. You know what? Congratulations once again
Thank
for
you.
making it. I wish you well as you go in to present to the evaluators.
Thank you very much.
Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you so much once again for this opportunity to be able to pitch my project. So below here is a chart which shows the value frequency of losses per crops in Malawi. According to statistics produced by the World Food Programme, in the year 2003 to 2014, Malawi experienced a huge major losses in crops. The government ended up investing lots of money that led to them to losses. But these problems arise because of limited access to weather updates, limited disease management and pest monitoring for crops, limited soil optimization, as well as limited text translation. But all of that is history now. Allow me to introduce to you Crop Care. Crop Care is an extensive farming services mobile application, particularly for farmers. This is a game changer for Malawi, especially that it actually tackles the problems that were listed below. So Crop Care, its main focus is to empower farmers as well as smallholder farmers as well as other farmers to allow them to really manage their crops, as well as make informed decisions about the pest management and soil optimization solutions. Well, I've already explained crop care is actually a game changer. Why? Because it also has an inclusion of emerging technologies, for example, an AI-driven disease management for real-time disease detection and identification. So this feature in the application is very important because it will enable farmers to actually detect crops so that they can, in real time, to give them the precise treatment as well as management of a particular crop. Precise forecast and weather forecast and integration. So in Malawi, over the past few years, we have experienced a change in weather that farmers are not really able to make informed decisions because they do not have access to the information as well as measures on how they can go about the change of weather. So we have had floods as well as right now, as we can see, the heat wave, which has affected a lot of farmers in Malawi. So with the integrated weather forecasting, it will help farmers make informed decisions where they can be able to know and also utilize ways to actually come about to prevent unexpected weathers. For example, irrigation as well as other schemes to allow them to have a higher and increased crop yield. Another solution is optimizing soil health. So optimizing soil health, we allow farmers, this is a feature in the application that will allow farmers to input what their soil types are, as well as monitor their health in the system. So this will include temperatures, moistures, as well as fertility. Community forums. So we all know that agriculture is the backbone of Malawi's driving economy. So you can't talk about agriculture without talking about people. So the inclusion of community forums will help build the community so that they can help to share ideas, as well as partnering with also other stakeholders. For example, partnership with also other farming stakeholders, for example, ADMAG, and also other private sectors, to allow them to communicate as well as provide solutions to different problems faced by smallholder farmers. Text translation. Agriculture is all about inclusion. So the existence of the text translation in the application will help translate for people that are illiterate, to also be able to give them a chance to also indicate how to understand really what is going on. So an inclusion of the text translation will help translate, for example, in Chichewa to another language, which is maybe English, for the sake of the database, to input information to the database. So this is also a use of the emerging technology, natural language processing, which is also an inclusion of AI. So our go-to strategies. So our go-to-market strategies, for example, how we are going to also partner with other private sectors, not only the government, but also other private sectors. For example, in coordination with the 2063 vision, which includes that Malawi plans to have a stable income for every household, to be able to have to increase crop yield, as well as make informed decisions on crop yield. So our growth strategies includes also collaborating with different stakeholders to raise awareness campaigns on training different farmers, and also so that they can really understand the use of the application and the importance of the application. Why crop care? Well, as I've already explained, crop care is a game changer. Why? Because it has adaptive technologies, for example, AI. So the inclusion of AI in the system will help make precise decisions. For example, we have the detection, the disease detection that has been included in the system that will help bring about precise decisions on the type of crop and their types of treatment. That way, the government will also be able to save money, so that experts shouldn't have to travel for long distances to go to a particular place to conduct surveys. On the competition, after doing excessive research, we found that there is Zaulim app and Agriculture Malawi. So the reason why we're actually different from this existing application is the fact that these applications are only limited to specific needs of farmers, but they do not really gather all the needs that the farmers actually face. So with the extension of the crop care, it's actually extensive to also other it gathers a lot of farmers' needs, so that it can actually reach a broader range. Roadmap. So looking ahead, we plan to expand the application to also other neighboring districts, because we're not only looking at Salima as a district, but we're also looking on how the application can also be of use to other districts so that we can make an informed decision. So as you can see here, this is an example of the prototype. This is the community forum where people can actually be able to share their ideas. So the application is specifically tailored for professionals as well as smallholder farmers. For example, as you can see, people are able to start discussions where they can discuss different questions as well as tips on how people can improve their crops in the community. So as you can see, someone can be able to post facts about a specific item and soil population on how you can actually improve crop yield, the type of disease. Lastly, the scan to translate. So they'll also be able to upload an image so that they can actually be able to translate. Maybe someone has written the text in Jijewa, the application will be able to translate it to actually English so that this can be of use to storing the information in the database. So basically, this is my presentation. Thank you very much.
Actually, when I was coming, I used the lecture road.
Oh.
There to see how Salima crops
Yeah.
have been affected.
Yes.
And possibly this might be one of the solutions.
Yeah.
Right. Now I'm looking at Salima district now. And looking at Salima district, there's a need of having a process where all farmers are taken on board. I hope you have a plan for that.
Yes.
You elaborate more on that. And again, the process of detecting diseases, for example, it's relying on farmers. Take a picture, upload it on the app, then it is interpreted. Now, on assumption that everyone can take that picture properly and upload it, I'm not sure how you are going to because you have to work with the community.
Yeah.
And you have to look at options on the different types of gadgets that they're going to be used.
Yeah.
In terms of the weather forecast, I think you haven't touched more on the weather forecast or which equipment are going to use, and that in each and every farmer will have to use that equipment to detect the weather, whether it will be centralized or not, what will be the process like. Yeah, I think for now, I think I should stop there. Our colleague might have something, but I think I'll just put that first.
All right. So the first question that I'm going to answer is we've talked about weather forecasting. So the plan is actually to include a centralized weather API that will be accessible to all farmers. But apart from that, we are really focusing on inclusion because we know that not everybody has access to the mobile applications or the internet services. So that is a major deal, especially in the district of Salima, where not everybody has access to this, but they're still farmers and they still, at the end of the day, they want to increase their crop yield. So the plan, as of now, is that we actually have to have data community centers where people can actually go. Apart from including the USSD that I didn't explain in the slides, but that's also something that we're also trying to include. People can be able, within the communities, where people have groups and forums where they can be able to come together and actually give in their inputs. So that's why we have an inclusion of the text to English, so that maybe within a week, farmers can actually meet and they can have their inputs. And from the inputs that they have, they can be able to use the system that is centralized within the community to be able to produce the required results. And you have asked, the other question that you asked was about the disease detection. I'll go a bit technical on that. When you're looking at AI and machine learning, for example, it's something that has to be done offline. So we included the inclusion of the advanced technologies because we know that with time it's going to advance. So this can be able, it is accessible to even to areas where they don't have access to internet. So it does not necessarily need the internet for it to work. So we included that because we also putting in mind, like I've already said, that there are people that do not have access to the internet. So by the inclusion of the AI as well as machine learning, even though it will be able to be advanced with time, it can also be used by where people don't have internet at all. That's why there's an inclusion of these farmer groups and also forums, so that despite that, people can also be able to use the application. Yeah, I think you asked another question. I've just forgotten it.
Of course, on the disease detection,
Yeah.
you were looking at the relying on you're relying on the farmer to take a picture and upload that for the interpretation. So that's where the user groups, the community groups are going to.
Yes, but it's gonna be, like I've already said, not everybody has access to mobile phones. So the way we are actually going to do with that is that we, like I've already said, we're having data people. We'll have also people that will be able to go into those spaces, because as time goes, different diseases are approaching, especially in regards to crops. Like there are different diseases, they'll keep on coming. So there may be places where people are illiterate on what kind of disease this is, So that's why we have the model will be updating with per time, So as we update the model per time, we'll also have people that will actually go into the fields so that they can know and detect what kind of disease the plants are affected with, so that it can come up with measures in order for them to treat. At the end of the day, they'll be able to know the pest management on how they can actually increase crop yield and treat the required diseased crops. Yeah.
So the app be able to offer a suggested solution to a
yes.
type of
Yes.
We'll be able to, but we want to show that now. That say there's this, but this affected with this disease.
Yes, of course. Unrelated to this, I did something similar as well. That actually worked on the ground but it was actually a desktop application, not a mobile application. So the plan is to use the same mechanism that was worked in the desktop application to be able to be used in the mobile application. That it actually shows that it actually shows real time that this particular plant has this affected, and this is how you can actually treat it. So that's something that's really going to work. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I think I need you to go to the when I was going through the list, I was very interested because we are saying providing extension messages on agricultural issues and promoting on high value chains through ICT.
Yeah.
And after that, in the presentation, I see a different thing: crop care.
Yeah.
Can you relate this too?
Crop care is just a name for now for the application. Yes, it's not like Sandra. It's just a name that I give it, but it's not necessarily covering the whole system. So I think that's subject to change. Yeah.
Yeah. So on the weather forecast integration, are you considering systems from the Department of Climate Change?
Yes. We are supposed to work with them because it's an API, and we can't really have the readings without them. So the plan is to really work extensively with them so that people can be educated. And one way that we are going to ensure that people have access to this weather forecast is we're going to take advantage of the radio stations, for example, to educate people, and for other people that also have phones but don't have access to mobile phones, don't have access to smartphones. The plan is to include messages on using USSD, where people can have tips on what's actually going on to keep people involved using the same chain. So we're not only catering people that have smartphones, but we're also including people that do not have access to smartphones. So yeah, we'll actually work with with the development of it.
On the text translation.
Yes.
How many languages are you planning to have in your app?
Well, since we're actually focusing on Salima for now, based on research, we found out that Chichewa is actually most used language. I'm yet to make more research on that to find out if there can also be other inclusion of other languages. But now we are looking at a margin of how what is really commonly used within the district. So for now, that's actually the goal. Yeah.
I know that in some cases we have farmers that are not educated.
Yes.
And the reading alphabet is another issue.
Yeah.
I don't know how going to help these people in terms of communication. That maybe they don't know how to read.
Yeah.
Even Chichewa.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other means of communicating with these people?
Yes. Like I've already said, that we are going to take advantage of the radio stations. That even though they don't read or write, they'll be able to hear. So after they have actually heard of what is actually happening, especially with the weather forecast, maybe you can approach a radio station and like dedicate a whole time for people to give an update of actually what is happening in relation to weather or pest management, on how people can also increase their crop yield. So on those kind of people, for now we are catering on how we can educate them by the use of forums, like community forums, as well as radio stations. So that is actually the plan for now.
Yeah. Is it possible to translate the text to audio?
Yes, it's actually possible.
Are you planning to have that?
Yes, because we're also looking at the disabled, because not everybody has access to, we can hear, and not everybody is like that. So in the long run, we are looking at the disabled and how we should be able to translate the text to actually audio by the use of also machine learning and AI. So that is actually the plan as well. Yeah.
Thank you.
Right. It was good to have you.
Thank you very much.
We have enjoyed the presentation.
Thank you.
And the innovation.
Thank you very much.
All the best.
Thank you.
The application is good in terms of agriculture and focusing on the local community. And it has got features that can help to translate information in different formats. For example, you have issues around the text, language, English to Chichewa, or even text to audio, which can help the local farmers to understand what is happening. And the issues of disease detection, I think, is very, very important. We know nowadays that sometimes we can have strange diseases in our farming. So having such type of application that can detect and interpret particular disease or particular situation in our crops, it will help us a lot. And the community collaboration is also very important. So experiences can be shared among the local farmers within the community. So we hope that this particular application can assist a good number of farmers in Salima and the other districts, if it can be rolled out to other districts. So the only issue that maybe they need to consider is to make sure that this particular application is integrated with the other systems. Because when you go to the Ministry of Agriculture, they have also other systems in terms of climate change, issues about weather, and also even the diseases. They have a database there, I think, where they have data sets of different diseases that we have in Malawi. So if the app can be integrated in those sources, it can also be beneficial for the farmers to access a large volume of information that they can help, they can be helped. So we believe that this application can assist our local farmers in terms of experience, knowledge sharing, and information accessibility. Thank you very much.
Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto kuza dziko lathu. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto omwe amagwa mdziko lathu.
And congratulations for making it to the regionals. How did you feel when you heard that you were going to be pitching to the evaluators?
I was very happy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Awesome. Tell us where you're coming from and, of course, the council itself that you're representing here.
Okay. Right now, I'm coming from Cholo, West Mast, and I'm presenting the district council, where I'm doing the participatory information distribution of the climate.
Oh, okay. So climate change things and fantastic. What are you studying at MUST before we get into the innovation?
At MUST, I'm studying Bachelor of Science in Meteorology and Climate Science.
Oh, okay. So this is in line pretty much with what you get to interact with, the information you interact with on a daily basis.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. So what inspired you to actually work on this specific innovation for the council, which is NESA?
Okay, for the past years, I've seen that most of the districts in Malawi, they are being affected by climate change, where we're having the droughts, the floods, and the likes. And data is one of them. So I think the district needs this information to get prepared. So then maybe they must be having the to plant crops which are resistant to droughts and the likes.
Okay. Hey, I wish you the best as you present to the judges this innovation. Good luck.
Thank you. I am thanking Yurenda, a fourth-year student studying Bachelor of Meteorology and Climate Science at Malawi University of Science and Technology. My project is Ulimindinyango, a weather app. This application is there to distribute participatory information, mainly to support agriculture. Climate affects our agriculture in many ways, from the crops we plant, the application of chemicals, and disease and pest control, even the type of farm machinery to be used. For instance, if the soil is too wet, some heavy machines, they can't be used. Of course, we have many sources of meteorological data. For example, Department of Meteorology and Climate Change and the current weather. These ones, they have the minimum integration of agricultural knowledge, while some, they don't even have the integration of agricultural knowledge. So this application is there to integrate that agricultural knowledge with the weather, so that the farmers, they can be able to use it. See, some people, they can have the weather data, but they don't know how to use it. So this app is there to assist them in that way. This application is unique in this way. First way, it integrates meteorological data with agricultural knowledge, as I've already said. The app will also have the voice input and output in English and Chichewa. So this voice input and output, it will help to support those people, maybe who can't even maybe hear. I mean, those who can't see. So they can be helped with this one. And those people, maybe they are good farmers, but they don't have that capability to write. It can also help them. This application will also have short messaging services. For example, African Market Confederation research showed that in 2023, we had about less than 25% of people who have the access to the internet. But in Malawi, we have more people who are farmers.
Some they don't even have the access to the internet. So how can we reach these people? These short messaging services will help these people to get the information. This one also anticipate droughts and dry spells, and it also be there to guide farmers what to do at a particular time. So what's the interoperability of this application? One, we have the API access. This API access will help in a way that some stakeholders, let's take these people doing insurance, they want to integrate their information in our system. With this API access, they can easily integrate their information. Number two is having cross platforms, where we can have this application on the web, on an Android device, on a desktop, and even on iPhones, yeah, that operating system. And the other one is data integration. Okay, of course, as I was aiming on this one in the first place, I was aiming to use satellite data, where I would just maybe purchase some APIs, but I thought it was that we can also maybe partner with the Department of Meteorological and Climate Change, so that we can work together here. Sometimes we can have increased number of the people who will be looking to access information from here. So to accommodate that one, we need to have some things to enable us to do that. First one is Google Cloud Platform. Google Cloud Platform enables the auto-scaling and loading balance, which allows the app to handle increased traffic by dynamic adjusting the resources. Number two is API design. For example, that API design of whether they come in different packages. Some they just allow maybe 2,000 requests per hour. So if we can buy that package with unlimited requests, can help us to in terms of scalability. And the other one is micro services. This is where we design the program to have separate small parts to be operating independently. So for example, let's take we want just to increase the scalability of the messaging services. So if it's separate, it's easier to increase that part only without touching these other parts. The other one is catching. As I've said that this one, it will be using meteorological data to give agricultural recommendations. That means we need to keep that data from the APIs so that we are able to use it later. So the other thing is, how will the project be sustained now? So this project will be sustained in the following ways. One is subscription models. We can have a system where the people will be needed to subscribe and will be required to pay something to us. And this one, they can even require some special services. Let's take they need smart farms. They can come to us by purchasing premium packages, and we also do the advertising. For example, the factories which sells farm machineries and some farm tools, they can come to us and work with us, so we can be able to incorporate their commodities on our screen somewhere else for advertisement. So the money will be used to sustain the project. And the other thing is partnerships. For example, we have some agricultural research companies where they require meteorological data. Therefore, we can go to them and give them meteorological data, which they can use in their products. Thereby, they'll be paying us. Okay, so here with me, I have the video of the demo of the application, which is just a prototype of it. Okay, so there is like we are requiring create an email. That's language changing. Yeah, so there it enables the voice input. So there I haven't integrated the weather API. Okay, so those are the farm operations to be taken place. The other thing is, for this application to go very, very smooth, we need like a physical visit to the place, so that we need to interact with the people. We should know what the people needs, and maybe what do they know about maybe climate, to have that thing. And we should also know which design will they prefer in terms of this one. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your presentation. You can start.
Okay. Right. Thank you, Duncan, for working on a prototype that's going to help the current challenges that we are facing, especially that Malawi remains like a based economy in a way, but we have now to go to a level that we can advance, where we are able to know the weather forecasts, So that's a good presentation. Going forward, I think I've got just a few things to maybe that we're going to explain more on the big. And again, I think the challenge that you have at the moment is you haven't visited the data yet.
Yeah.
So we will be asking questions about how have you seen the area, how many people do you see that they have access to smartphones, But I think for now you can't answer that question. But you just have to be bear in mind that whenever you are putting forward a solution, it must be talking to the needs of the people on the ground, even when there are other future opportunities. You have to look at what is on the ground so that you can come up with informed. Because as it is now, we have to understand what are going to use for the sake of weather forecast. Apart from using the Department of Meteorological Services, but what about your app? How shall we do work with how shall we integrate with the Department of Meteorological Services and then the possible remedies or people advising them the correct crops to plant so that it is in line with the weather forecast. Because you're looking at sometimes when forecast, but if there will be drought.
Yes.
Maybe when shall the rains come? And what should people do? So those questions we cannot put forward to you unless maybe you have something that you want to say on that.
Okay, so first I can just talk about the source of the data. The primary is using of the satellites. That's why I was talking about API. That's the application programming interface. So I'll be able to buy the application programming interface from the satellite owners. For example, we have the NOAA, we have the OpenMap. Then this data, it will be given to these people. But since these models sometimes they can be at a bigger scale, yeah. So we need something precise. That's where the DCSMs comes in. Before starting learning this application, like giving it to the people, I need to know if the data I'm giving to the people is very precise. Therefore, I need the data from meteorological department, because those people they get data at a very small scale. So if it's matching very correctly, I'm going on with that API from these other people. or else that means I will look for another provider who has that model which is targeting the small scale. When it is coming to the crops, many types of crops, even I can talk about maize varieties, they do well depending on the amount of rainfall, sometimes even temperature of the area. So let's take, it is predicted that maybe this month or these coming months, the temperature will be maybe average 25 degrees Celsius, and the rainfall maybe it will be 500 mils. Therefore, the crop which the variety which works well under these conditions will be recommended to the farmers. If we have the droughts, for instance, the application will be able to tell the farmers that you have the droughts in so months. Therefore, from this period you can plant these crops. Let's take cassava or sorghum, which they are at least resistance to the droughts. Yes.
Yes, I think that's okay. To me, I'm interested on the proposed technologies that you are planning to use for your system.
Yes.
What technologies are you planning to use for the system?
The technology in terms of
information technologies.
The dissemination of the information.
No, okay. We want to build an application.
Yes, yeah.
Where you want to integrate the agricultural knowledge.
Yes.
And the weather data.
Yes.
So what I'm trying to say is, I'm going to apply artificial intelligence, for example. I'm going to apply machine learning.
Yes, okay.
Do your data analytics and the other things.
Yes.
Take the trends.
Yes, there, like I've already said here, somewhere else I was talking about Google Cloud Platform. There we have the machine learning integrated. So with this one, with the machine learning, yeah, it will help us to auto scale and loading the balance. So actually, we have the machine learning in the program.
Okay.
Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto kuza dziko lathu. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto omwe amagwa mdziko lathu.
We just wrapped up the Central region. 17 innovators coming in with different ideas that you have evaluated. Mm-hmm. How did the Central region do?
Yeah, I think to me, I found that this is a very important event. We have seen a number of innovations, a number of ideas, solving different problems, different disciplines or sectors like agriculture, education, health. What impressed me mostly is that all these innovators are young innovators. Most of them are just young graduates from universities, and they are doing a wonderful work to address different problems in our local communities. So generally, I appreciate what the Muuni Fund is doing to bring these innovators together. One way is sharing experiences and also building a network of innovators in Malawi.
Are there some innovators that brought ideas that are ready to run right away that you think could be taken on and someone could really put to use?
Yes, we have found some that are already on the ground. They have tested those prototypes. They have also meeting different users through those prototypes. So we believe that from this particular stage, they can go to the implementation stage. A good example is that from agriculture, we have seen that there is an application, what they call Soil Smart, which is very, very interesting. I think they have done a lot of work on that particular prototype. We have also seen one from local council, which is already in operation.
Yeah.
We have another innovation from education, which is already in use in some secondary schools. So we believe that these types of innovations, it will not take much time to be at the implementation stage.
One of the innovators talked about being a person that goes into communities, looks for a problem, tells them this is your problem, then offers a solution. Do you think these people have actually shown that they did have time to research the spaces that they are providing solutions for? Because it's one thing to have an idea and an answer and some sort of solution, but do you think they've really gone into the spaces that they're looking to work with?
In that particular context, I can say no. Majority of the innovations, I think they're just building ideas. They didn't do much analysis on the ground, understanding the user needs, and come up with a model that can solve the problem. There are very few presentations that demonstrate that they have done a lot of research on the part of the user. But most of them are just building the ideas. They need further analysis to understand the context, to understand the actual practical problem, what the community is facing, and the model the right solution for them.
Moving forward for innovators that are picking up on some of the things that are being shared here, what would your comment and advice be?
Yeah, so from the observation that we have at this particular presentation, we have some areas that they need to be improved or mentored. One is how to do user needs analysis, to analyze the actual gap that the community is facing, and how can you translate or conceptualize that particular problem into a technology that it can address such type of gaps. Two, we have observed that most of the innovators or presenters here, they don't have adequate knowledge or background in terms of sustainability, and also issues about income generation. We believe that in every innovation, yes, this particular level is just a prototype, but when we want to implement this to the communities, we need to invest, and also we need to make sure that the innovation can sustain itself. We need innovation that can stay for long. Yeah, so at the end of the day, the innovators, they need to know how to model their innovations. At the end of the day, it can be invested and also sustained as expected.
I thank you.
Thank you very much.
17 Innovators, the Central Region, has brought us ideas, solutions to the problems Malawi is facing. Young minds are bringing about the answer. Now we move on to see what innovations they have in store for us, presenting, of course, their ideas to the innovators, to the evaluators that will be in the room.
Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto kuza dziko lathu. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Muuni Fund is here. Yafika. Kuthandiza Malawi tipeze njira zotana ndi mavuto omwe amagwa mdziko lathu.